Yeah, we had some good fights on last night. Very good fights. I think a lot of them. It was so many fights on last night. You kind of overlooked a couple of fights last night, but the first one I'm gonna start off with is Bam Rodriguez. I'm gonna start off with his fight first. But last night he came out firing last night against Kafu. Kafu was good though. I know Kafu was a lot better than people expected because they had to throw the towel in. He still was holding his own. They make it seem like he was getting dropped 4 or 5 times. Nah, he was still holding his own. That's definitely where I'm confused at. But yeah, he was done at that point though. I think the last 2 or 3 rounds, I was like, yeah, he gonna stay on his feet, but it ain't gonna be good. And his corner knows better than anything. So yeah, they threw a towel in. But he was scoring some good he was scoring some good points in the fight. I think people gonna have what's up, Flat Out TV? What's going on, dog? I think they're gonna have to go back and watch that Bam Rodriguez fight, but oh boy was connecting a lot in that fight. Yeah, that Bam Rodriguez fight, they definitely I guess they weren't watching because I think Bam fight was on the same time as Fundora and Tszyu. So I don't think everybody was looking like that. I guess they hearing the commentary or whatever. That's what's up, but African dude was landing. And they ain't get him around. That's crazy. And dude ain't even get dropped. Imagine that. Yeah, they're gonna have to go back and watch that one with no commentary because that was a that was a good fight. It was a lot closer at times than what they say. It wasn't a total domination. Now against Sonny Edwards or something, yeah, that was a total domination. But Kafu put together a way better fight than what Sonny Edwards did. Sonny Edwards was running around and everything. Yeah, we're gonna have more about that later on. I'm just bringing that up right now because later on I don't know if I'm gonna speak on it too much today. I probably will. But because it needs to be spoken on. Because last year I did I ain't gonna get to that yet, but these other fights, y'all see what I'm talking about. But with Bam Rodriguez, though, he came out throwing a lot of good shots, man, letting his hands go. Uh, really had this guy in the corner the whole fight. Couldn't go nowhere. I think he's the best in the division right now. That was a fight I wanted to see him take. And every time I see him, he fighting different. And he's smart too. He didn't really run in there like that. That lets you know that African dude has power. He didn't really just run in there and try to get him up out of there. Like I said, he didn't even drop the dude. Yeah, the dude got stopped in the 10th round, but he didn't get dropped. In my eyes, that means something. And I seen the fight. Man, I want y'all to go back and watch that Bam Rodriguez and Kafu fight if y'all missed it last night. For some reason, they make it seem like old boy got dominated last night. bro. To be honest with you, he wasn't too far off from what Barrios was doing last night. To be real, if y'all want to keep it 100, that dude, the African dude, wasn't doing nothing different from what Barrios was doing. He was jabbing, connecting. Bam Rodriguez's face was red, and he lost. So that's why the scores last night was outrageous. And he lost badly. They ain't even get him around. And his nose ain't started leaking till like, what, 9th, 10th round? And they swinging the whole time. Yeah, that's crazy. That was a weird fight. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm keeping it 100 today. I did it last year, and it worked out very well. I'll explain later why, and I'm going to do it today. Yeah, I wanted to see an old boy last night at least get dropped and hit the ground. For them to just throw the towel in, that's kind of weak. To be honest with you. I know they know they fighter better than me, but I ain't think he was getting beat like that from Bam. Man, we just seen people recently get beat up worse than that. But I seen a girl recently on bare knuckle get her teeth knocked out and everything, and had a face was swollen. I ain't seen nobody talking about throw the towel in. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Dude, nose start bleeding. They like, yeah, throw the towel in. Ain't hit the ground or nothing. Like, what are we here for real? What is going on in boxing right now? Dude's nose start bleeding and we throwing in towels? Man. Hey, that's one problem why people don't be checking in, bro, in Boston. I don't care if it was 2 more rounds left. As soon as your nose start bleeding, you throwing in a towel? Come on, man. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't understand it, man. I really don't understand it. I think that fight should have went a lot longer. Like, old boy was connecting. I want to see the comfort box, but I don't know, man. Comfort box might not be accurate like that. So we might have to go start back doing our own comfort box because what I've been seeing lately been some crazy stats. I gotta see what's going on last night with that Pacquiao fight. Oh, appreciate that, John. I gotta see what's going on with that Pacquiao fight, man. I gotta see what the punch stats are. But yeah, I thought Van looked amazing last night though. He was definitely gonna win. But yeah, I don't know what they seen last night. That was a weird fight. I guess the commentary made it seem worse than what it was, but yeah. But as far as the Tim Tszyu fight, I want to talk about that fight too. And that Tim Tszyu fight last night with Fundora. Now I put out like probably just a handful of videos lately about Tim Tszyu, and he's been saying some very important things that people were missing. This man Tim Tszyu was saying that he don't watch film like that. They was asking him recently, like, "Are you gonna watch film on Fundora from the last fight?" I forgot what he said, but it was kind of like he don't even watch film like that. He just like kind of goes with the flow. And I'm thinking, hold on, he just got stopped by Baccarat recently. But what people forget about Tim Tszyu and Fundora, after last year, I got on here the day after they fought last year the first time, and I told everyone, and I had to, bro, nobody was saying this. I had to basically go against the whole world on this. Everybody was saying, oh man, the fight was, even boxers and experts, oh man, if Tim Tszyu would have not had the cut, oh, he would have won the fight. The cut is the reason why he lost the fight. I'm like, no, it's not. No, he's not. If you go back, just type in Tszyu cut, and you'll see a whole bunch of articles where a whole bunch of people is going out here. The same people that's talking about he's done right now was out here last year talking about, oh, the cut. The cut. I'm like, oh, man. And it's a reason why I'm bringing that up. And this need to be said because nobody else going to say this. This needs to be said, and I'm going to say it on record. Last year, we had most of America sit up here and talking about, oh, Tszyu lost to Fundora because of the cut. I don't think people understand how disgusting that was when that was being said. Because first of all, that's an excuse that you're making up for a boxer. And it's not legit. You know what I'm saying? Then they come back and they're going to say he done now. I told people he wasn't going to beat Fundora. I told him the first time, I told him this time. Not because I'm right or nothing. I'm just saying the cut, when that was said after the fight, I knew he was done from that point on. I said, how's this man going to get better when people out here making excuses for him? I said, how this man going to get better when people out here making excuses for him? I said, he ain't going to get better. It ain't going to work. That whole cut saga ruined his career. Let's be real. And I said it last year after he fought Fundora the first time. I'm going to post a live on my community page. So everybody won't think I'm tripping because people know what I'm talking about. Because a lot of people was like, oh, I ain't trying to hear that. This man sat up here, had that cut, and everybody sat up here, nah, man, he would have won because of that cut. And ever since then, I don't know, like, he kind of like been leaning on that. Because before that, Tszyu was proving himself. Then he get the Fundora fight. It switched from Keith Thurman to Fundora, I think, 11 days before the fight. And, you know, everything going on, end up losing the cut situation. But that ruined him, though. Straight up excuse. And I seen it in real time. I'm like, okay. If y'all go back and look, ever since they sat up here and said Tszyu, he would have beat Fundora if it wasn't for the cut. The man ain't won a fight since. He ain't won a fight since. You can search up and down my page. I ain't said nothing about no cut, and that's the reason why he lost. I sat up here and said that was the dumbest excuse I've ever heard in my life. And guess what? It's still the dumbest excuse. And guess who put this out here? The big wigs. The top dogs. The guys that make things move. I told everybody, man, hey, put this guy. He said he's going to get hurt badly, too much punishment. I mean, when you fight the elite guys, that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? The thing that Tszyu is really going to put, Tszyu, you know, he still has a place in boxing because he still has a better resume than most of the guys at 54. So that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Even if he got stopped by Fundora and Baccarat, okay. Why is his resume better than the rest of these guys? Why does he want smoke more than the rest of these guys? That's the only way I look at things. This time next year, he better not still have a top resume at 54. That's gonna be a problem. That means he's the only one looking for smoke. Because I noticed since Terrence Crawford left 54, it's been a little quiet down there. You got Xander Zayas, then got a belt. He finna fight this weekend. Ain't nobody call him out. What, he 22 years old with a belt at 154. And you ain't had nobody call him out. I guess we still doing in-house fights. But yeah, Mendoza, yeah, he beat Mendoza, what was that? 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago he beat Mendoza. Shout out to Trey, what's going on? But they ruined Tim Tszyu though. They ruin a lot of fighters like this. They ruin a lot of fighters like this. Happens all the time. I ain't gonna go down the list, but they've done it plenty of times recently. Tyson Fury is one of them. Excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. And then you 3 losses in, and after that, you like, Fury should have 3 losses. Tyson Fury should be coming out 3 straight losses right now. Technically, most of the world think he had 3 losses right now. They think he lost to Ngannou. Even people who don't watch boxing, they think he lost to Ngannou. They think he lost to Usyk twice. It is what it is. Yeah, that cut ain't do nothing but ruin his career. That cut wasn't the reason why he lost. You know what I'm saying? That cut wasn't the reason why he lost that fight. That's what I'm saying. Because if he didn't get that excuse of, oh, you lost because of the cut, he would have been going into this fight or the last fight with Baccarat the same way he gonna be going into his next fight. Like his career gonna be on the line, because his career on the line. His career really ain't been on the line yet. As far as some of these other guys, if they lose one time, they done. But he's fought for what? He's had 3 straight fights for a belt. He fought for a belt against Fundora. Well, he had the belt. And then he fought for a belt against Baccarat, and you fought for a belt against Fundora again. You had 3 title fights in a row. Three title fights in a row. So he really blew it. Yeah, he really blew it though. I'm just keeping it real. He really blew it. Like, and I ain't gonna be on here long. I'm just explaining the optics because it's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? It's old news to me, but it's happening right now. He said, what's up, Gypsy and Vanilla Gorilla? Y'all subscribe to Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla. He, he said he fought Joey Spencer early 2025. Yeah. I know he fought Joey Spencer earlier. Yeah, that didn't really mean anything. Yeah, but that fight wasn't even a fight to me, bro. To be honest with you, I know what you mean, but bro ain't getting better though. You know, I can see certain things like Tim Tszyu was boxing just when he was fighting Brian Mendoza. You know, the fight he should have tried to get a stoppage in trade was probably Mendoza, but he didn't even try to knock out Mendoza. So I feel like with Tim Tszyu, he should have went a whole nother direction, because why are you going from trying to box and then you getting your fights getting tougher and you trying to be a knockout artist now? That ain't. I think that's where he blew it at. He even said it recently. Oh, I've been trying to knock guys out. For what? You're you're fighting better competition. This isn't Jeff Horn or guys like that. Fundora is not a Jeff Horn. Matter of fact, Jeff Warner tell you he would never get in the ring with a Fundora. But yeah, Tim Tszyu, his team is not very good. He wants to stick with the same team. It's just all around a lot of problems going on with that, bro. I mean, the sad part is now that he's lost this many times, a lot of his people from his country are starting to say the same thing I was saying. But they usually don't tell you the truth until you start losing. When you're winning, if you got $1,000,000 in your pocket, ain't nobody gonna say, "Hey, man, you doing this wrong." As soon as you lose it all, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, you should have did this." So yeah, he's in that position right now where they seen him make a lot of mistakes. Now they're trying to correct all the mistakes after they seen him make majority of the mistakes he should have cleaned up a long time ago. And his father is in boxing. His father's considered a legend in boxing, so um, yeah, I mean he has all the resources he needs, man. To be honest with you, very disappointing that he went to this fight like this, but he said he need to learn how to move his head out the line. Nah, bro, he needs to learn how to get back to boxing and jabbing. Uh, he got to get back to boxing and jabbing. He's trying to knock people out. Like he is doing what people would consider what Wilder does. They think Wilder just goes for the right hand. A lot of these guys who boxing right now, they just throw nothing with right hands. That's it. We got to keep it a buck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly what happened. Gypsy trying to stand out real quick. I felt he already had a name. He should have just slowed down. He got. I don't think. I guess it's the America thing where his first three fights over here was last year, this year, and two fights last year and this year. But he's not. He get in front of that crowd in America and try to go for a knockout. It's something about it. Because Fundora, he should have been boxing him last night. And he was landing too. He started bloody Fundora's nose up. But that's when he should have started stuck to boxing. Then he went back to trying to get the right hand. And just didn't work, man. Yeah, yeah. I don't think his defense is too much of a problem because Fundora usually does everybody like that. Even Mendoza was getting beat up like that. I'm talking about everybody Fundora gets in the ring with. He usually beats him up like that. But I'm just the fact that Tim Tszyu ain't working that right hand like Mendoza was throwing. Yeah, yeah, just you're right. Mendoza was throwing the right. You know how he was throwing that overhand right, and boom, how he knocked out Fundora. If Tim Tszyu would have worked on that, he would have actually dropped him last night. He could have actually dropped him last night, flat on his back, boom. But he didn't even throw it, so I was disappointed in that alone. I'm like, man, he didn't even try to throw the right hand. Uh, the way he was throwing the right hand, it was kind of like in and out. He was trying to throw it like a jab. I was wanting him to throw one of those looping right hands that can stretch up because he can throw that without getting hit. He can literally just throw it without looking, and that's what Mendoza did. Just put his head down, threw a right hand, and landed. And Fundora standing right there. You can see his legs. So all you gotta do is punch basically in that direction. The dude 6'6" is hard to miss. And yeah, Tim Tszyu, he looked like he didn't watch any film on the last fight. And he kind of admitted to that a lot. That was very disappointing, man. Quit, and then you get stopped on the stool. Never did I think he'll get stopped on the stool. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't think there'll be a fighter that gets stopped on the stool. It's a lot of weird things that been going on behind that situation. And I think another thing that's bad luck for Tszyu, gotta change that nickname, bro. Gotta change it. Tszyu came out with a nickname last year. Was it last year? The end of 2023. And his nickname is now called the Soul Taker. Gonna have to get rid of that. Be real with you. Somebody make you quit on the stool. You can't be Shane Song out here in boxing. That's that's not a good nickname for a guy who got stopped on the stool. Now, if you get stopped in the ring, that's why I say Anthony Joshua, say what you want. He gets stopped in the ring though. He ain't quitting on no stool. Quitting on a stool is a different kind of category you don't want to be in. Even Manny Pacquiao last night could have been like, hey, I'm going to hang it up, man. I'm 46 years old. I'm an old man. I got grandkids running around. I don't got to be out here doing this. That man went the whole 12 rounds last night. And you got guys out here in their 30s, 30 years old, really, quitting on the stool. Man, they're going to have a hard time in these tough fights. They're going to have a hard time in these tough fights, man. That's why I'm going to give them. They're going to have a hard time, man. Gypsy, this generation, they're going to have a hard time, bro. Because they're getting paid more than any other generation. I'm talking about even just your normal champion. Somebody who's just a normal champion. It's going to get paid well. But that's why I say, a lot of people say, man, Mike Tyson wasn't that good and everything else. And he didn't have a big win like that. But you got to understand, he got in the ring with these guys. No matter what. Some of these guys going to get in the ring and look worse than Mike. And you can make a case that Mike was undersized. You see, like right now, how everybody's questioning, man, what Tszyu going to do with his career? Man, these guys in the 90s, they would have fought 4 or 5 times again. Probably would have lost the next 2, but the next 3 after that, they would have won. And it would have been against probably a young champion or a talented prospect. Yeah, that's what boxing about. But a lot of these guys, I don't think they're ready, man, to be honest with you. I don't think they're ready. They had the last 5 years since the pandemic. It's really haven't been much going on in boxing. So they've been letting these guys prepare for what's going on right now. But I don't think they're ready. Because Fundora is younger than Tszyu. It's a lot of young guys right now getting the older guys up out of boxing. If you're fighting for $20 million and I never made $2 million, these young guys going to end up knocking you out here. And that's what's going on right now. You have a lot of young guys knocking the older fighters out right now. They're not taking care of themselves. We got to be real. They're not making the necessary adjustments. I see now a lot more young fighters are changing trainers faster. Like if a guy's not working, they're not saying, well, he's been with me for the last 20 years. They're like, hey, we got to get rid of this guy. He's not good enough. So, yeah, it's a lot more things going on in boxing from the younger guys. They're moving a lot more dangerous. Even Fundora said last night that he's going to start bullying these guys. And I said that after the last fight, if you go back and look at the last fight Fundora had, he looks like a different person. Sometimes when a guy gets a belt, he turns into a different kind of fighter. And I think Fundora's that type of guy. Like when a Pacquiao probably got the belt for the first time. One of those type of fighters. Because Tszyu, he got dropped first round last night. First round. And it was quick. People can say, yeah, he's probably what would they say? He's probably chinning right now. He's not. I wouldn't say he's chinny because he took the same kind of punches the next 6 rounds, but because, like I said, he quit on the stool. But yeah, he just didn't make the necessary adjustments, man. That was very disappointing in that fight. Very disappointing. People got to learn from that situation. When these guys lose, do not come up with excuses for these guys. I'm telling y'all, this has happened plenty of times just over the last 12 months where the media has went out of their way. When I make these videos, it sounds like kind of weird to some people, but it's happening right now. When these guys, just like right now, people are saying that Turkey Al-Sheikh, yeah, the struggle is real. Like right now, people are saying Turkey Al-Sheikh is trolling Tim Tszyu. Bro, all these promoters troll fighters. Eddie Hearn just said recently Deontay Wilder is done. Eddie Hearn said that. Who cares if Turkey Al-Sheikh called Tim Tszyu a sparring partner? So what? All these promoters talk about guys. I'm starting to see now a lot of biasness in boxing. It's a lot of crying going on about nothing. Well, and I'm noticing something too. Why is everybody ready to jump out the window for Tim Tszyu? What's up with that? What has he done in boxing to the point where he should be defended before guys who helped bring back the sport of boxing? I'm confused. I don't know what is going on out here. We had reporters last night yelling at a billionaire about how he's talking to a fighter. And these guys troll all fighters. They troll every fighter. All these guys troll fighters. Reporters, fans, boxers, they troll fighters. Everybody trolls boxers. I mean, they do. But last night I seen people like, oh, why would Turkey Al-Sheikh call Tim Tszyu a sparring partner? Because he wants to, like everybody else does. That's why. I mean, what's the problem with that? Everybody talks trash about fighters. I've been saying for the last year now why these guys slandering guys off opinions and not facts. Now, for guys, if we're talking about certain things going on in boxing, okay, that makes sense. But I'm trying to figure out, because recently I seen Ryan Garcia lose, and he didn't get trolled that much. Not like Haney did, so I wouldn't worry about what Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing. I worry about what y'all doing. Because Turkey Al-Sheikh went out here trolling Devin Haney after he got cheated. So why are the people who was trolling Devin Haney, shout out to J-Man, why are the people that was trolling Devin Haney after he got cheated crying about Turkey Al-Sheikh trolling Tim Tszyu? So what? All y'all be trolling. And they crying because he a billionaire and he can do it. That's why. They've been trolling all these fighters for years. They've been trolling Crawford. They just said Crawford a bum last year. And Canelo just said this is the biggest fight of my life. It's the best fighter I've been in the ring with. Now everybody on hush mouth. Now I see everybody come out of the woodworks. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Crawford. All these dudes be trolling. But why everybody every time Tim Tszyu lose, why everybody always jumping out the coming out the bushes like Homer Simpson, sitting up here defending Tim Tszyu? What is the love affair, bro? I'm being real. It's a real question. Cause I don't see no American fighters up here getting protected like Tim Tszyu do. Oh, look what Turkey said about Tim Tszyu. So what? Look what Bob said about Terrence Crawford. Look what Eddie Hearn said about Wilder. Eddie Hearn talking about Wilder has made loads of cash just by him talking about Wilder. Oh, Wilder, what could he do? He turned this down and he's from Alabama and blah, blah, blah. Who is he? All that stuff. Y'all ain't respecting no fighters. Get out of here. Like they respect fighters. Get out of here. You know why you crying? Because game over. That's why. That's why you crying. Where my anyway picture at? So I can put it up here. I'm going to tell y'all why everybody crying. Where my picture at? Turkey Al-Sheik out here like Jigsaw off of the saw. That's why they scared. Dudes is out here getting exposed. Where my picture at? That's why they scared. And I did this live a long time ago, and all this happening right now. I just picked a random picture just now. And this is a live right here. Man, it's over with. What y'all talking about? This is why the fans scared. It's over. This is why they scared. This is why they crying about Turkey Al-Sheik. Because you're done. All them little narratives they've been pushing. Y'all notice? Hey, look. Y'all know ain't no narratives being pushed right now. Y'all hear them narratives? Ain't no narratives getting pushed in boxing. Y'all hear that? Zero narratives. No narratives no more. All my old videos hitting too, bro. Y'all need to go ahead and check my lives out. They all playing out right now. But no narratives. I told everybody about the cut situation with Tszyu. I said, y'all gonna ruin his career. People don't even know it. Tszyu, one of my favorite fighters. That's why I told everybody the day I picked Fundora to beat him. Then I told everybody the day after the fight, y'all said he lost because of cut. Y'all just ruined my boy's career. It's over. And 3 losses later in America, he's cooked. Because the media jumping out here, well, he lost because of the cut. You know. All right, that's what's up. No narratives. And I'm hearing a lot of people talking about Tank Davis and Canelo's resume is trash. I think I put videos out about that last year. About how their resumes wasn't gonna age well. It's not aging well right now. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about Barrios is Tank best win. First it was Usyk Cruz was Tank best win. Then Usyk Cruz lost to Rayo. Then it was Ryan Garcia was Tank best win because what he did to Haney. Then Ryan Garcia looked like some trash recently. Then they're gonna say, well, it was Barrios. Barrios beat Ugas. And he looked horrible against Pacquiao. You might as well put Pacquiao in the ring with Tank. All them narratives starting to catch up. See, I ain't gonna push no narratives, y'all. I love boxing too much. Y'all know who my favorite fighters is, but ain't no capping going on. No capping. Turkey Al-Sheik exposing these dudes. These boxing experts out here, they want to find every reason to criticize Turkey Al-Sheik because they know it's over with. These guys can't push no more narratives. The fight's already signed. You know who's gonna fight next. You know who's gonna fight next after that. You know what negotiations is going on. You know who turned down a fight. You know everything that's going on. That's why they so upset. It ain't got nothing to do with what Turkey Al-Sheik said about Tszyu. You see how many? Hey, if they agree, they'll show they agree. I'm disappointed why they be disagreeing with me so much. I mean, this is common sense right here. This is happening right now. I don't know why people want to go against the grain so much. It don't look cool right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, every fighter that people said that's getting ducked, people starting to find out ain't nobody ducking them. I told y'all there ain't no ducking going on. These ghost stories out here. These are ghost stories. That's all that's going on. Terrence Crawford would have wasted his time in 154. I told everybody that before. To be honest with you, Terrence Crawford fighting Majramov was a better fight than fighting Tszyu. I told people that. And it was. Terrence Crawford fighting Tszyu would have did nothing for him. Even if he would have went out there and stopped Fundora with the cut on his head, it wouldn't have done nothing for him. Telling you, bro, the excuses for some people is it's not good, man. People gotta understand that. As a boxer, the only boxers that's really getting better are the guys that get criticized or overlooked. The reason why Lamont Roach is so good right now, because he took that loss against Jamel Herring. Ain't nobody wasn't paying attention to him. He like, I gotta get better. I gotta get some notoriety. I gotta get a belt. He got a belt. Got a big fight with Tank. Showed up, and that's how it goes. But yeah, the media definitely causing a lot of havoc out here. I'm telling you right now. Most of the fighters that the media fall in love with, they can't handle the expectations at all. I'm just being real. I ain't gonna say no names, just think about who I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about Canelo. It's a lot more other boxers in boxing. Canelo finna fight Crawford, so that's something that a lot of people didn't want him to do. So he's going against the grain already. I'm definitely not talking about him. But yeah, we see what time it is. But for people to be out here talking about turkey out of sheep, who he talking about? Man, please. That's why I'm getting it out the way right now. That's the only reason I'm talking about it. When it comes to turkey out of sheep, it's just a new promoter. Yeah, exactly, Gypsy. Shout out to Gypsy. It's just a new promoter, a new name, a new face. This been going on since I was a kid. This ain't nothing but Vince McMahon stuff. It's good for boxing. To to be honest with you, turkey out of sheep, I noticed a couple of weeks ago him just mentioning the stuff about Shakur Stevenson and the small ring and everything else. That just made people watch the fight anyways. People who wasn't going to watch the fight. That made them watch the fight anyways. So he's doing something different. Most times when promoters say stuff about boxers or things like that or send out tweets, they don't really make people want to watch a fight. Turkey out of sheet, he makes people want to watch a fight when he tweets. It's a difference. Do I agree with everything he says? No, but he's looking for shock value and it works. He sat back for a year and seen what people like and what they don't like. And what he's doing work. It's working right now. That's why you have a lot of big fights happening right now. That's why you got stuff lined up. But don't fall for the trick though with these guys wanting you to criticize Turkey out of sheet all the time. Bro, at the end of the day, that's cool and everything. As long as we get in the fights, that's all I'm worried about. The other stuff that been going on the last 10 to 15 years, ain't nobody cared about. Ain't nobody trying to figure out how boxing got to the point where it's even in the hands of a turkey out of sheet. So these dudes don't really care about that. They gonna cry now. But 5 years ago, they said people was complaining because certain guys was losing. But now we see things is changing now. They starting to wake up. But it's too late. They've already handed off the sport to him, and he's doing a lot better than what was going on before. You had guys retiring that didn't even fight each other. Like right now, we got a lot of guys right now that haven't fought each other. Charlo and Caleb Plant still ain't fought. But you got Tim Tszyu and Fundora running it back again because of a cut. Some of these fights are waste. So as soon as we get past that, and I don't feel like a lot of these fights, like I told people last year, these ain't really turkey out of sheep fights. Brian Norman versus Devin Haney, that's a turkey out of sheep fight. Benavidez versus Anthony Yard, that's a turkey out of sheep fight. Anthony Joshua versus Ottawa Lynn, I don't think that's a turkey out of sheep fight. I mean, it is, but it ain't. You know what I'm saying? It ain't one he handpicked like, these the guys I want on the card. We see who turkey out of sheep want to put on cards now. He's going to get the guys he want to put on cards right now. Bam Rodriguez finna fight later this year. So we see the guys he want to put on cards and who he wants to deal with. So yeah, a lot of people trying to put out certain distractions out there right now. And to be honest with you, certain boxing reporters and guys who criticize Turkey Al-Sheikh, they can say the same thing about the guys from America. They can say the same thing. I mean, guys been getting paid. Look what Turkey Al-Sheikh. I'm gonna tell y'all, Turkey Al-Sheikh. I gotta put the I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but it is what it is. Turkey Al-Sheikh. I'm gonna do a video later on, but he said how the pay-per-view has damaged boxing. The pay-per-view has damaged boxing. I've been saying that for a year now. And he comes out and says the pay-per-view has hurt boxing. And it has. Not because people gotta pay for it or nothing. It's just once you pay for something that ain't good, nobody wants to pay attention to it no more. That's human nature. If you pay for anything and it's not good, you're not even gonna watch it if it's free next time, probably. You're like, man, I lost my money watching that stuff last time. So yeah, that's the problem that he's running into right now. He's having big fights, but people don't really believe in the product like that. You kind of has too much of a bad history, a stigma on it, too many narratives. Everybody don't like narratives, man. Every fight doesn't have to get built up. Like I was saying recently about the Norman and Devin Haney fight. That's probably the shortest fight that's been made so far. Like that's probably the newest, freshest talked about fight recently. And that's the biggest fight right now. You don't have to build a fight, bro. You just got to make the fight. Like Brian Norman and Devin Haney don't have to build the fight up. The fight is already built up right now. So I think Turkey Al-Sheikh is realizing now, oh, we don't have to build up fights. But a lot of these other promoters, I think they know that, but they don't want to see these guys lose in certain situations. Been a lot of cat and mouse lately. And these aren't really the guys you really want to see fight yet. We still got to have other people step in and fight at 54. That's why I'm saying Tim Tszyu, he got a lot of fights. 3 straight title fights, but we don't got that many other people at the weight class right now that's moving around like that. So we got to see. But yeah, with the I think I went over a lot of people's head with that one, but it is what it is. But with the Manny Pacquiao fight last night, but that turkey talk got a lot of people shook, boy. That turkey talk got a lot of people shook. I must set some facts on that one. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, people are offended by that. It'd be crazy because people be like, man, they be offended by some of the boxing talk I be saying, but it be happening though, and it's gonna happen. Like, bro, what you think going on? Because you don't like what somebody say, it ain't gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, bro. Like I said, the cut ruined Tim Tszyu. Yeah, it ruined Tim Tszyu, dog. It did him bad. He had a hard time in that fight, man. Oh dang, who got? Hold on, we ain't got no lights in the building. What's going on? YouTube ain't letting nobody hit the like button or something. I don't know. I feel like I'm babbling right now. Let me just go back to the fights. Kind of just sometimes I gotta keep it at a certain level because you know. Let me relax real quick. But yeah, people will figure out later on what I was talking about as far as that last situation. It is what it is. But as far as the Pacquiao fight, um, I mean, to be honest with you, the way I see things all the time, like I said a couple months ago, the scoring is going to be a problem, and that'll be something that only will change when I don't know. I mean, I don't have no control over it. The scoring will change when it's enforced or something, I guess, because I feel like scoring is always going to be a problem based off of sometimes popularity or anything that can happen. I think scoring is always going to be an issue, or even just promotional things or anything. It could be money. It could be anything that plays into scoring fights or judging. But I think that's going to be a problem because a lot of times they squeak by with certain fights and scores that just don't make sense. Oh yeah. I ain't trying to appreciate that, Gypsy. I don't be trying to go in too hard. A lot of times it's too much information at once. But yeah, but with Pacquiao, man, the fight last night. The reason why I'm disappointed in the fight is because how do I say this? Wasn't really a good time to have a score like that with the Tank situation recently on PBC. Like you just had Roach and Tank have a draw, then you have Pacquiao and Barrios have a draw. It's not a good look, man. It's complaints about it because it's not good. Too many different circumstances for scoring a fight, and I feel like they do know how to score a fight, but just a lot of things play into it. Recently, somebody accused the judges of being American in one fight. That was an issue. You know, a lot of times having judges from certain countries does cause an issue. But with the Pacquiao fight, man, I don't know, man. I seen Canelo. I gotta look at the copy box, but I seen Canelo just do worse or less than that recently, and the man got a victory. And for him to get a victory just based off of his presence or his reputation, if Pacquiao can get a win off of reputation, this is why I'm firm on guys not getting the benefit of the doubt when it comes to fighters. I mean, when it comes to fights, whether it's Tyson Fury or anybody. This is why I'm firm down the middle when it comes to scoring fights and guys getting favors from judges, because a guy like Pacquiao has been robbed twice recently. We looked at Jeff Horn and in this fight. And you can say Barrios was jabbing and doing everything well, but Barrios was doing less in this fight than he did the last two or three fights he's fought. The last two or three fights Barrios has been in, he has been letting his hands go and firing off. I'm pretty sure in this fight he wanted to box a little bit more and everything else. But if he would have did that against Tank, he would have lost. They would have not given him a draw or even a win if he would have been fighting Tank Davis last night. That's a fact. He would not be able to beat Tank Davis like that last night. The crowd would have booed PBC out of the building. No way they would have been able to give him a draw last night. I'm just being honest. Lomachenko, if he was in the same situation, I know people say, well, He lost to Haney and Tiafimo. Yeah, but the fight didn't look like that. You can't tell me last night fight looked like Barrio. I mean, like any fight Lomachenko's been in, especially the losses. Yeah, I don't understand that. Because last night you can say that's why I had a hard time when people saying, "Oh, William Skull is running," because a guy like Barrios moving lateral last night, jabbing, throwing hooks, throwing the right hand, he can do something similar to what a William Skull was doing. I wouldn't say moving as much because you're fighting an older man, but it looked a whole lot similar. And the man squeaked out with a win. I mean, with a draw. Basically a win in my eyes. Still keeping the belt. That's a win. You fight for the belt. This ain't for no just guys fighting on the undercard. This for a belt. We got to keep it real. This for a belt. You telling me right now, if anybody, if Crawford go out there and fight Canelo the way Canelo fought William Skull, he gonna win. If Crawford go out there and fight Canelo the way Barrios fought Pacquiao last night, he gonna get a draw. It's not gonna happen. Don't let these people fool you. If Crawford fight like any of those people last night who got draws or anything, it's not gonna happen. They would give Canelo the victory. I'm telling you that right now. And they did it to Pacquiao, so it really don't matter who you are. So I would be worried about that more than anything. I know a lot of people saying, man, we worried about Crawford as far as the PDs, fighting Canelo. No, you need to be worried about these judges. Because they don't care if you're a 10-time undisputed. Pacquiao didn't get the benefit of the doubt last night. I was looking for Pacquiao to be like, yeah, I'm going to try to win this fight based on my name. I was looking for Pacquiao to do that last night. I was like, I want to see if Pacquiao going to try to win this fight just based off his name and try to hot dog it. Pacquiao went for it last night. And for Canelo to not go for it recently, but to see Pacquiao go for it, that's what I had meant last night when I brought up Canelo's name. I seen Canelo not go for it, but I seen a man who's 46 last night go for it and was initiating a lot of times with combinations. Barrios almost did the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson thing. To be real with you, I don't like seeing guys fighting guys 10 to 15 years older than them. And they're doing pop shots and everything else, being careful. Like, bro, nah, that ain't. Nah, man. I don't like that. If Devin Haney can't sit out here and box guys like that, if he got to be exciting, I don't want to see that crap, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. Especially against no 46-year-old Pacquiao. If you're going to fight Pacquiao, try to knock him out. Like, dudes got to quit wasting our time, bro. Like, for real. When Ugas beat Pacquiao, ain't nobody sit up here and say, Pacquiao got robbed. Ugas won. No question about it. It was not one person out here talking about no Ugas robbed Pacquiao and everything else. When nobody out here saying it. So I don't want everybody out here talking about y'all fanning out. No, we're not. I know what's going on. Ain't nobody fanning out. I'm telling you right now. If Devin Haney can go out here and fight like Barrios did last night, he'll do that every fight. So what are we talking about? He can do that every fight. He can do that against Brian Norman. So ain't no reason to even see the fight. We giving draws now? What are we doing, man? Stop it. Y'all notice that everybody else got to go for it and be entertaining, but dudes get in front of somebody 46 and they just like, yeah, let me be technical. Now you want to be technical. This dude 100 years old. Now you want to be technical. Okay. Yeah, the man a legend, man. And yeah, he wasn't the same guy last night, but like, what are we talking about though? This is why a lot of times, and the you know what's hard to watch about that fight? I was worried about Pacquiao's safety going into this fight. Not that he was gonna lose his, anything happening in the fight, man. I was worried about his safety. And for him to go out there perform, I was like, okay, let me see if he can make it to the sixth, seventh round with a lot of stamina. The man did everything right. That's why I'm disappointed. I seen the Tim Tszyu go out there and did everything wrong last night, and you had the boxing world talking about some why is Turkey Al Sheik criticizing him like he Prince William or something, and then Pacquiao getting a draw after initiating most of the exchanges and winning most of those guys. Did y'all know Barrios was getting out of the exchanges? Like, oh, it's too hot in here. Man, I'm gonna go back and watch and see how many times Barrios backed down from an exchange from Pacquiao. Every time Pacquiao wanted the last word the whole fight. All of it out the ring. Hey, when he get in the ring, Jay, boy, I'm glad Jay said that. Awesome point. Where was that style last night? Because for some reason, when he get in the ring, yeah, they talking about running rules. Yeah, that was borderline, and y'all know that I'm a fan of Barrios, but we talking about running rules. That's borderline right there. Man, I just seen Wilder jump in the ring with guys with 100% KO like that, and didn't even move like that. Yeah, that Mexican Fried went straight out the window last night. That is a great point by Jay. It went straight out the window last night. All that running rule stuff is gonna backfire, bro. I'm telling y'all. It's gonna sell some tickets though. Oh, it's gonna sell some tickets. I ain't gonna lie. I'm actually glad it's around. It's gonna sell some tickets. And it's gonna educate a lot of people because once we get past this running rule stuff, we're gonna figure out is it a myth or is it factual? Once we get past this running rule stuff, the whole world will get educated on the global scale. So this is the only thing that's positive about the running rule. Everybody finna get educated to find out what running is. We're gonna show you what running is. I told it, I was like, just cause he beat Ugas, I don't that don't mean nothing. That's the only thing I said. Because the experience of Barrios fighting a guy like Pacquiao, it just hasn't been there. Even with Pacquiao being older, he's been fighting a lot of guys who've been stationary, like just stuck in the same place type of fighters. He ain't been really fighting no guys who got a little movement to them. So just those little exchanges here and there causing too much problems for him. Oh yeah, thanks for bringing up the Usyk thing too. Usyk last night, yesterday, because the first fight I didn't really trip about the low blow situation because I said in my mind that if Dubois got stopped, he got stopped. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, that's kind of how I look at things. But I noticed last night though, Dubois hit him on the belt line again, and the man complained about it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I like Usyk. I don't criticize Usyk at all. I've only picked against Usyk one time. I think that was twice. I think that when he fought Fury. But other than that, never picked against him. But for him to be worried about a body shot like that last night again, I know people ain't noticed it because he got the stoppage, but that is a major flaw though. That cannot be. Everybody else will ignore it, but me personally, I will not. He shouldn't have did that the last fight. Shouldn't have done it. He still, I give him credit for the Dubois win and everything else, but the way I look at things, the way I look at boxing, the way I know boxing, these fights with Fury, Joshua, and Dubois, these rematches and everything, it let Usyk off the hook. It really did. They'll People will figure that out one day. They ain't gonna understand it, but they let Usyk off the hook though. They let him off the hook, and I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him because people said Fury and Joshua was the best heavyweight. So if you beat them, you're the best. But if people know about heavyweights, it's different styles and different things that happen. But yeah, these rematches they save him though. When you have that much talent at heavyweight, you spread out the fights. You don't stack up 2 or 3 fights, rematches back to back. There's no reason to. With a guy like that, you put him in front of different styles. But they gonna regret putting him in the ring with all those UK guys twice. Fought all of them 2 times, except Chisora and I think Bellew. But he fought all those guys twice, man. They're gonna go back and regret that. You're gonna go back and regret it. If you give anybody 2 times to fight Usyk, you'll give a Deontay Wilder somebody in his prime 2 times to fight Usyk. But these other guys, they're gonna be the reason why heavyweight division is looked at as weak for this era. Because they couldn't even get the man on the ground. He said if Crawford beats Canelo, will ESPN and Ring still keep Usyk #1? I mean, Usyk can be #1 because he's 3-time undisputed. He was gonna fight everybody. The reason why I give Usyk credit is because he would have fought anybody. He'll fight anybody. I think with the last couple of fights he's had, they actually wasted his time. These aren't the fights he wanted to have. He didn't want to fight Dubois again. He didn't want to fight Tyson Fury for a second time. He really didn't want to wait on Tyson Fury to fight Ngannou. And people don't remember, Usyk thought he was gonna fight Tyson Fury that December. They was supposed to fight December after he fought Ngannou in October. And I said, how is he gonna fight in December? He got to fight Usyk. Usyk in December. How you gonna fight Usyk when he fighting Ngannou in October? The man went out there, got dropped, got a black eye. They ain't had no press conference, so they went ahead and just pushed it to next year. Then he went and got a cut on his eye. You know the whole situation. But Usyk, he would have fought. Man, Usyk probably would have been fighting Wilder and Caviel and Joseph Parker already. Yeah, but Tyson Fury was holding up things though. That's why Turkey Al-Sheikh was doing heavyweights first. What Turkey Al-Sheikh was doing, he was gonna get the heavyweights out of the way first. He was doing the heavyweights, and then he was gonna do the smaller guys. He was gonna work them in. That's why most of the cards he had like 2 or 3 heavyweight fights. Then you have Fury like, oh, I'm gonna wait until December. I'm gonna retire. I'm not gonna fight till 2026. I'm gonna take the whole 2025 off. Guys like that is why boxing is where it's at right now. So yeah, we would have seen a lot more Usyk, different kind of fights at heavyweight, but that's the way things go, man. That's why Turkey is right now. He moving past it, especially with like heavyweights. Not focusing too much on heavyweights right now. He'll throw a fight in here or there, but as you can see, it's too much trouble. That's why he's cool with Usyk. He's like, yeah, I can do fights with Usyk. Yeah, Tyson Fury is still around. And at this point, Tyson Fury fighting Usyk for a third time is just, I don't know, it'd be embarrassing at this point. Why are you fighting Usyk for a third time? You're going to lose to Usyk 3 times? 3 times. And can't get the man on the ground. If I was him, I would leave it alone. But, as far as pound for pound, though, or ring, that stuff don't matter, man. I'm going to be honest with y'all. If y'all look at pound for pounds that came out over the years, the last 10 years, all those pound for pound lists, all those guys didn't meet expectations. I don't think Golovkin met his expectations because you got to think about it. Canelo did more than Triple G did. And they was talking about Triple G like he was a monster. But Canelo was the one moving up and jumping weight classes and fighting Kovalev. And that's stuff that we expected Triple G to do. So from what I've seen growing up, since I've been growing up, they had, I think, Mikey Garcia on the pound for pound before they had Terrence Crawford. Mikey Garcia would have never beat Terrence Crawford. But he was on the pound for pound to defeat Terrence Crawford. A lot of people thought that Terrence Crawford would have lost to Mikey Garcia. Matter of fact, before Terrence Crawford fought Earl Spence, people were saying, man, Mikey went 12 rounds with Earl Spence. Terrence Crawford would get stopped. So pound for pound, if you go back and look at all the lists, bro, I'm not lying to you. All of them, they have guys who didn't meet expectations. Floyd wasn't on the pound for pound for a long time. You had guys, I think Marquez and all those guys was on there back then. Yeah, all of them hyped up. All of them. I like it because, it makes boxing interesting right now, but everything that was written in the past, it's getting exposed right now. I think it is. Even all the guys, I'm telling you, all the guys that people said that was getting ducked the last 5 years, these guys ain't fighting nobody right now. You know what I'm saying? These guys ain't fighting nobody right now. You got guys like, you got Usyk fighting every couple of months like he a prospect. And you got other guys out here like just not stepping up. Gotta think about it. Usyk is more active than fighters that are younger than him. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff getting put out there, but it's a good thing though. Boxing needs to change, man. Everything can't stay the same. People said that boxing has been getting worse. Even the fans who love boxing said it's been getting worse, and they want to see guys fight each other. So that's what's going on, man. That's why really, from now until the end of the year, the only couple of fights you're going to hear about is probably Haney and Norman and Canelo and Crawford. Because the standard is being set right now, and Benavidez has a yard too. But the standard is being set right now that if you're not putting a big fight together, you're going to be at the middle level, and everybody else is going to be at the top. You don't have to be a Mike Tyson or something, or fight a Mike Tyson or Devin Haney. You just have to fight a big name that's notable. Look at Tszyu and Fundora. Most people didn't know who those guys were when they fought each other the first time. Now they fought twice, and everybody knows who they are. So you don't really have to build up a fight. I'm just saying, that's probably the biggest lie that's in boxing right now, or ever been told in boxing. You can do it in certain situations, but it has to be a very young person. It can't be some guy who's already established or in his career. I think that's why I'm glad Brian Norman is around right now, because he's proven in 12 months that he can be a bigger name than all these other guys who's tweeting every day. Brian Norman don't tweet every day. He don't get online saying somebody ducking and this and this. He don't talk about this sparring that didn't happen and this sparring that. Dudes just now start talking about it since he been promoting this fight, and Jen Sasaki, he done knocked out and everything else. But it's been more guys that been talking about stuff like that, but they don't have a fight coming up with Devin Haney though. I'm trying to figure out how everybody let a guy like Brian Norman get in the ring with Devin Haney before they could. So everything is getting put out there. Look at Pacquiao fighting Barrios right now. Look, Pacquiao moving better than some of these guys who young right now. You got guys who 25, 30. That's why I said Pacquiao getting robbed last night was a travesty in boxing. It was horrible. And I'm telling y'all, I was looking for a reason not to get him to fight. Now, a draw, yeah, it's possible. I'm not saying as far as that, but it's possible. But I don't know, man. My rule as far as me, if you find a guy who's 10 or 15 years, well, not 10, well, I don't know. 10 is a limit, bro. 10 or 15 years older than you need to be initiating the contact. You need to be getting it done. If you jabbing and moving, that's cool. But if you don't box like that, especially if you Mexican, that is a huge red flag. That is scary fighting to me. I've been watching Barrios for at least for 10 years, bro. I ain't never seen bro move like that. What are we doing? Now he turning to Floyd all of a sudden? That's crazy. Not saying that he can't switch up his style. He's a boxer who can. I'm just putting that out there that style is shunned upon right now. People ain't getting wins right now because of that style. You can box like that all day, but until Barrios, ain't nobody been getting no draws or no winning no rounds. Devin Haney won every round against Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia had a point deducted, and he still couldn't win the fight. And if you go back and look, he should have won the fight. That would have saved Ryan's career. That's another situation. Look at God. Ryan Garcia, them robbing Devin Haney. If y'all go back and look, Devin Haney won every round. Let's be real. And Ryan Garcia had 1 point deducted. Devin Haney should have got the victory. But it is what it is, though. That ruined Ryan Garcia's career. People out here making excuses. The media did that. The media ruined Ryan Garcia's career. And the fans. The media also ruined Tim Tszyu's career. The man has 3 fights in America, 3 losses, 3 title fights. And they blamed the first loss on the cut. And they were still talking about the cut last week. That's not finna make that man better. That's not gonna do it. I don't think they understand that. That's not gonna make him better. He's comfortable in it. Being comfortable in boxing after 3 losses is insane. Or 2 losses. That's insane. That's insane to me. But you'll have people turn around and say a guy who went 12 rounds with the number 1 boxer in the world is a bum or can't box. So if I go 12 rounds with the number 1 boxer in the world, the number 1 boxer, the top guy who will knock somebody's nose off on this earth, if I last 30 minutes with this guy, I can't box. I'm a bum. Like, what are we doing out here? Yeah, I don't like all that. Yeah, a lot of these guys ain't gonna make it with Turkey, bro. That's what Turkey was just saying last night. I mean, the judging with Turkey, I mean, it is what it is over there. I told people recently with the judging with Shiraz, I was like, bro, Shiraz, if y'all go back and look at the fight, man, I told people this after the fight, and people was looking at me like, man, bro, think he know everything. I told people after the fight, I said, Shiraz ain't looked that bad against Adames, bro. I'm like, Adames be dogging dudes. If you go back and look at this Hamza Shiraz versus Adames fight today, I'm telling y'all, you're going to see Adames trying to knock this dude out, and Shiraz going to throw that hook like he did against Berlanga, and he's going to throw an uppercut. He's going to step back and throw a jab. I gave him credit for doing that. If you go back and look at the fight, he did more than Barrios did. And he got a draw. Man, what are we talking about, man? He did more than Barrios did and got a draw. And more backlash because they say he turkey guy. And I'm not up here defending no promoter or no turkey or nothing like that. Oh yeah, appreciate that, Jay. Facts, Jay. Hey, turkey out here, I don't know. Turkey out here, me and him think alike in a lot of situations. Cause he took that pay-per-view away ASAP. I knew that was gonna happen, but I can't say the reasons why. You know, I ain't trying to be out here getting caught up. Yeah, he came in there for a sparring session. And then like Trey said earlier, Tim Tszyu fought Joey Spencer in spring. Man, look, that fight didn't help Tim Tszyu. Him fighting Joey Spencer did not help him. Because he didn't change his mentality. Shout out to my dog Trey. He didn't change his mentality going into that fight. Tim Tszyu fought the same way he did with going into that Baccarat fight. When I seen Tim Tszyu fighting Tony Harrison and Brian Mendoza last year, or not last year, year before last year, he was boxing, jabbing, like Isaac Cruz. I seen him jabbing last night. A lot of these guys getting away from the jab. You ain't got to jab all the time, but I'm saying if you're a better boxer when you jab, you better jab or you're going to end up being a loser. And every time these dudes lose, they ain't throwing no jab. It's simple math. It is what it is. But every time, yeah, exactly. Wasting their money. And a lot of casuals I'm starting to realize too, Jay, they be smarter. I think the guys who really be casual be the ones who be watching every day. But they be like still not knowing nothing that's going on. That be the craziest thing to me in boxing. It be guys who be watching every day that don't know what's going on. I'm like, bro, you getting all the news and you still don't know what's going on? I think those are the people that's why on my channel I don't be doing the whole, if I say somebody ducking, bro, they got a government seal on it that says somebody ducking. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people saying guys is ducking recently, it's starting to catch up to them. I think that's the biggest problem right now. Guys are saying people were ducking Tank and other guys in weight classes. I think that's starting to catch up because they starting to realize now, oh no, a lot of these guys is not trying to fight nobody. That's why Shakur getting the praise again right now because they realize, oh, he'll fight more than Tank would. Yeah, he will. Probably won't step in there with Devin Haney right now, but everybody else, yeah, he'll probably step in there with. But Tank, can't believe in that right now. And people said, man, Tank best win is Barrios. It look horrible right now. Bro, it been looking horrible. I don't care if Barrios beat Ugas. That don't mean nothing. The level that people are talking about Tank is on, they talking about Tank can beat Crawford. If Tank can beat Crawford, why would I talk about somebody beating Ugas? Who cares about that? We talking about dudes can beat Crawford right now. And I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody that said they can beat Terrence Crawford in a fight, they having hard careers right now. No joke. I'm not capping. They having a hard career right now. Tiafimo ain't got no fight. Ryan ain't got no fight right now. We don't know what the Tank said. All right, all these dudes that sat up here talking about they can knock out Terrence Crawford. Looking bad right now. That's bad luck. I think that's bad karma in boxing right now. You said you watched, did I watch the Lampin fight? Yeah, I was on the couch watching before I went live. I had to, sometimes I like to watch the prelims. Like the zone prelims, sometimes I don't like to go live for those. I'll be a little too animated, so I don't want to be on here doing the most. But Bro, I seen him almost flipping over the ropes and his arm, and he talking about my arm broke, trying to call the fight off. That was a horrible performance last night. I thought he was gonna lose that fight. Lampin ain't that big right now. He's still young. They trying to compare him to Usyk. I mean, Usyk turned pro when he was like what, 28, 29. Then he jumped in the ring with Lewis Edmondson. Nah, I thought he lost that fight, to be real with you. From what I seen, I wasn't paying attention early the first few rounds. I'm pretty sure Lampin was doing his thing, but he looked like he was ready to quit last night. He kept flipping over the ropes. Cause he'll grab he tried I ain't even gonna throw old boy in the bus right now. But he looked like he tried to flip over the ropes though. Cause he kept grabbing Edmondson when he run into him, and he tried to flip over the ropes. Did it twice. Then he got his arm caught up. It was a bad performance. He got to pick it up. Because the last fight he had before that, he looked good, but I think he got to put it together. But you can't be fighting these UK guys with like one loss, undefeated. Some of these dudes dangerous, man. Jay crazy. That dude almost broke his arm though. It was an entertaining fight. I'll say that. Very entertaining. McCumbee and Pacheco fought last night. Everybody looked past that fight last night. Um, it was alright. It was kind of boring. Pacheco and McCumbee, it was kind of boring, but it was alright. It was watchable, but it was kind of boring though. They was boxing a lot. But yeah, credit to Pacheco though, because most guys try to go out there and get a knockout. You like, if I can't get one, I ain't gonna get it. Because it looked like McCumbee was throwing that right hand hard last night. He didn't box like he did against Caleb Plant. He boxed more like Caleb Plant did against him last night. So yeah, I like what McCumbee was doing last night. He was on point. Yeah, Pacheco couldn't get no knockout. That was over. And Isak Cruz had a good performance last night too, man. He showed up. Isak Cruz looked good last night, bro. He destroyed Salcedo. I know Salcedo was a late replacement, but he had a fight coming up anyway. Yeah, Pacheco was landing that right hand. Gypsy crazy. Pacheco was landing he was landing that right hand, but then McCumbee was coming back with that right hand. Boom, boom, boom. McCumbee looked like he had some power last night. I'm not gonna lie to you. If McCumbee would have fought Caleb Plant like that, he would have got the win. Yeah, McCumbee looked like he was on point last night. That was actually a good fight for him. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Whoever was saying what they were saying about McCumbee being a better fighter than what I expected. Yeah, I was right about that. He's a pretty good fighter, man. Be honest with you. That dude is a lot better than what I thought. He is a lot better. For a white fighter from America, dude a beast, bro. I'm telling you. They be sleeping on fighters over here, but fighters like him, Caleb Plant, they can switch it up, man. Most guys would have got knocked out by Pacheco last night, so that was a good fight. I'm gonna be real with you. Because there ain't too many UK guys that are fighting like McCumbee or Caleb Plant. Different kind of style over here, top to bottom. Because I thought last night, oh, he going to go out here and fight like he did against Plant. But then he said that he was confident in fighting Pacheco. I was like, okay. Kind of believe in him a little bit. And yeah, he showed up. I don't think he got stopped anything. It was so many fights on last night. Let me go back. But I don't think he got dropped anything last night. He ain't get dropped or nothing. And Pacheco known for sleeping dudes. But yeah, Pacheco's smart though. I think the fight that I want to see that's going to be a mega fight that probably could be a trilogy in the future. I want to see Pacheco fighting Hamza Shiraz. I've been looking at that fight for like a year now. I think in 2 years, because if Shiraz fight Canelo, it's gonna be 2 years if they fight. Because I don't think Shiraz gonna fight Pacheco after Canelo. I think they probably gonna double back on him fighting Janovic, especially if he fight Canelo, he gonna beat him. Janovic or Adames again. That might be something that happens. But I can see him fight Pacheco though. Because I know they want to fight Janovic. I know he want to fight Adames. I don't think that's gonna happen right now though. Because most of the fights this year is already kind of done if you look at it. Yeah, Pacheco and Sherrod, bro, they next. They next up for real. Those guys are next up. I definitely would say those guys are next up. Those are some very good fighters, man. Like Team Benavidez has got a lot of good fighters right now. But yeah, Pacheco, he definitely a good fighter though. You want Zayed? Yeah, I want Zayed versus Fundora too. I tried to find another person for Fundora, but I think Zayed versus Fundora is the only fight I can really think about for Zayed. He can fight Boots, but I mean, I don't. That would have already been talked about if that was gonna happen. So I think that's a long shot. I was thinking of something crazy before I got on here. I don't know if people would want to see this, but I was saying if if they don't find a fight for Boots or opponent, he could fight Tim Tszyu or something. I know people probably say, man, I don't want to see Tim Tszyu. He just got stopped by it ain't that many guys at 54 though. If y'all look at the list of names at 54, it ain't that many names because guys is already starting to move up. I think a guy like Tszyu will move up eventually. He be cutting a lot of weight, man. Yeah, Pacheco can, man. He's a beast. Dude is a problem. If it's too dangerous, he'll be like, that's not being scared. He knows when to strike and when not to. Like, yeah, Pacheco's smart. He one of the smartest fighters. I put him up there with a couple of other guys I got to think of who's very smart in the ring. De Los Santos smart in the ring. Yeah, he's very smart. But yeah, Pacheco, he's up there. That's why against Shakur, De Los Santos ain't put himself in position like like Zepeda did. He knew what time it is. Oh, he got a belt. Hey, he got Fundora old belt, Jay. So the belt that Fundora had, he ended up dropping it. And Xander Zayas got the belt now. He was supposed to fight Fundora instead of Fundora fighting Tim Tszyu. Yeah, they hate smart fighters. Man, they hate smart fighters. They're like, man, he ain't get a knockout this fight. It's a reason. That's why Tim Tszyu kind of fall into that trap where it's like, oh, get a stoppage. Man, you better try to go 12 rounds. You better do like Usyk doing. Usyk wasn't even looking for a knockout against Dubois. It just came. Dubois pressing so hard. Even Bam is like that. If you look at a lot of these guys' resume, they'll just let the fight go the distance. They ain't gonna try to take too many chances if it don't call for it. That's why with Pacquiao last night, I'm telling you, I'm sitting here looking for a chance to tell Pacquiao, oh, you need to take some chances. But there wasn't really any. I mean, the last round you could probably say, but the whole fight, man, the man was pressing the entire time. I thought the first round he was already tired. He actually was already tired the first round. Yeah, that fight definitely need to happen. That fight definitely need to happen. They got a lot of good fights that's on the table still. Even at heavyweight, it's gonna be a lot of good fights that's gonna be on the table. When Usyk step out of the way, it's gonna be a lot of changes. It's gonna be a lot of people looking towards because Usyk's last fight is gonna be, I want to say June of next year. Might be wrong about that. I heard people talking about April. Could be April, but between April and June next year, that's gonna be Usyk's last fight. You only got one more fight left. He wasn't gonna really put his schedule out there like that as far as when I'm gonna retire, but it's so many changes being made right now with Turkey. Turkey is trying to make sure that guys know what they're gonna be doing the next 6 months, so they'll have no excuse of why they're not prepared or anything else. That's why you see a lot of them. That's why Turkey said recently he's not gonna do the fight between Carnivine and Eubanks. Once he puts a schedule up there and says what date he's gonna have a fight at, if people don't agree with it, he's just gonna move on. He'll do the fight on his own, or you'll do the fight on your own. Like he said with Ennis recently, hey, just do the fight with Eddie. Because if I'm doing my own cards now. That's why he said with Ennis, just do the fight with Eddie. I think a lot of people are overlooked that when he was saying that. Turkey is saying, I'm doing my own cards now. I'm not doing no me and Eddie together and 5 versus 5 this. Do the fight with Eddie in the UK or America, whatever, and then on my cards, we can do a fight. The ones where I'm directly putting the matchups together. I'm the guy who called Canelo. I called Martin Bacoli. I'm specifically putting these matchups together. So if you're not ready for the next 6 to 9 months to be ready to step in, like with Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller pulled out of like 2 fights. He pulled out a Chisora fight, I think, and the Wardley fight. And Turkey like, hey, you still need to be prepared to fight Jared Anderson. And now they got Jared Anderson and Jarrell Miller coming up. So he values guys' availability. Like Turkey treating this like the NFL. You can stay on the roster where you can have a practice team, you can have a roster where guys is gonna be able to play on Sunday. But other than that, if you're not available, that's why Teofimo got the word recently. Because Turkey's starting to realize now, okay, it's gonna be another Abdullah Mason or somebody else coming in 2 years. I ain't gotta deal with no Teofimo. Once they start fighting these domestic fights, they'll figure out how hard it is. So that's what's really going on. He's figuring out who's worth his time and who's not. But this is a bad look, though. I think because Pacquiao was actually supposed to fight in Saudi Arabia last year, I think he should have just went ahead with that fight, man. Instead, I think these fights in these countries, outside of what they're doing over there in Saudi, is just it's too iffy right now. Every month, it's always something that's questionable going on in boxing, and it's usually outside of Turkey. That's why I don't have too much criticism for what he has going on, because we already got enough problems going on with American boxing right now, and he shouldn't be the guy who's in charge of fixing it. We got too many people like, hey, Turkey, fix American boxing. We need to figure out who ruined American boxing so we can stay away from that person first. I think that's the biggest thing. Let's find the problem, then we can find a solution. because that same person can still be lurking around right now, and we'll never know. So yeah, they gotta keep an eye on certain things, man. Then the way these fights going, you got guys barking back and forth with promoters. That's why Berlanga, I know Berlanga's hurting with that Eddie Hearn situation. You know, Berlanga, I thought that was a red flag because the way that Eddie Hearn and Devin Haney was going back and forth wasn't the same way of what Berlanga, because Berlanga was like, man, he ain't get me no Canelo fight. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't my promoter. He ain't do nothing for me. And then Eddie Hearn was like, gave him a sorry opponent who ain't fought in what 14 years or something. And that really hurt Berlanga, to be honest with you. Allegedly. I don't want to say Eddie Hearn was the cause of it, but him fighting Canelo and then fighting a guy for one round who's not a serious opponent, came in overweight, that didn't really help him out. So yeah, I don't think Haney put himself in the same position, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on where guys got to be careful, man, how they moving right now because it's a lot of changes being made. You don't know if it's Eddie you got to deal with or Turkey, and then Turkey is only dealing with a certain set of skills, you know, from a boxer. He's not dealing with any kind of one-dimensional fighters who feel like they've done something already. And I'm glad, and he's got some experience now with the fighters. That's why he had Keyshawn recently that was talking to Turkey, explaining him the situation that he has going on, because Turkey's like, because he knows what time it is, you know, principal office type of stuff. Because now Turkey has set a standard, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Most people, they wouldn't do that with Bob or anybody else or something. Probably behind the scenes, but with Turkey, dudes is coming up to him in the middle of the fight, apologizing. So it's a standard already being set to where they know, hey man, if I need a fight to be made, if I got plans set up and you have a belt and you ain't making weight, this is causing issues for me. This is messing up my business. For real. So yeah, like he said before, he's serious about his business. So a lot of these other promoters, they let guys come in overweight, keep a belt, certain things, and pull out of fights over and over and over. They've let Tiafimo do stuff like this. But I'm gonna just give y'all an example right now. Tiafimo was pulling out of fights. He pulled out a Brian Norman Jr. fight. They had some negotiation. I think with Ennis. I don't know where that went. But then he had a situation with Haney turned that down. You know, only over here, like as far as I guess on Top Rank and ESPN and other places, he's been doing that. You know, Triller or the Zone, wherever, allegedly, he's been doing it. But with Turkey Al Sheik, it's a different game though. Like you'll miss out on your biggest payday ever trying to troll. That's why I told people like the trolling is it's outrageous right now. Dudes is passing up the most money they'll ever have for a couple of likes and some laughs. Now let's be real. I'm not saying that it's impossible that Turkey will ever work with them again. I'm just saying, why would you even play with your life like that? The most money you can ever have is right in front of you. And because you probably feel like you can hold some value by dragging out that process or avoiding certain matchups. I don't know. Probably some legal things was going on behind the scenes, but I'll just say as far as the Tiafimo situation, bro, it's caused way too much havoc. Y'all forgot when recently he had Canelo's lawyers looking at his looking at his top ranks situation. Bro went over there. Hey, he was over there with Canelo for 5 minutes. Hey man, can I use your lawyers? Man, I'm trying to get out of this top rank situation. Yes, I don't know what these guys doing. But they definitely, I would say America has definitely spoiled a lot of fighters because Certain guys ain't getting this treatment. Three title fights in a row, and you lose all 3 fights with different opponents each time. It's crazy, man, out here. I like what's going on though. Turkey is definitely exposing it, but I wish Manny Pacquiao would at least had a fight on his card. Would have probably been a little more respect given, but I would say that didn't help Barrios last night though. That performance he had, because a lot of people thought that he fought terrible against Abel Ramos, but I didn't think that he. I literally came on here and defended his last performance. Everybody said Barrios was trash his last fight. I said Barrios tried to get the knockout in front of his home crowd and it went left, and he had to survive. But he still tried to go for the knockout. In this fight, he didn't go for no knockout. Let's keep it a buck. That's what I'm saying. And Abel Ramos is an older guy to most people. They felt like he was a over the hill guy who's not that good, and I felt like he was still dangerous, and I almost stopped Barrios. But he getting a pass on his performance last night. I can't even lie about that. Anybody else would have got criticized for that performance last night. No way. See, what some people try to say out here, they try to say, oh, Haney fought like that against Lomachenko. Nothing Barrios did last night looked like anything Haney was doing against Lomachenko. Wasn't even close. You can see the things that you can make a case that man, watch this. They don't know how I work. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna look at these stats and I'm gonna look at these exchanges. I bet that Manny Pacquiao wins more exchanges and lands more punches than probably Lomachenko did against Devin Haney. Because people forget Lomachenko was starting late in that fight. I bet Pacquiao stats is close to what probably even past what Lomachenko's was in that fight. It's either close or over those stats. Do they have the coffee box out for last night? Let me see. Coffee box, Manny Pacquiao, Barrios. Let me see. These stats look kind of close, buddy. These stats look kind of close. Let me pull these stats up so y'all can see these. Yeah, this ain't a good look for Barrios right here. This ain't a good look. These stats too close. And if y'all look at Manny Pacquiao's punch stats, let me take that down. If you look at Manny Pacquiao's punch stats against Ugas, they look nothing like this. It looks the ones against Ugas look terrible. Here it goes. These are the punch stats from last night. See if I can go find these. See if I can find these. See something real quick. I don't know, man. This Them stats last night look crazy. Them stats last night look wild. Let me see. Yeah, man. I see some nice jumps by Barrios though early, like the third and fourth round. Yeah, I think most of these rounds, these is rounds people was pointing at where they're like, okay, yeah, definitely 11th round. He started making it happen. Yeah, 11th round, he started getting to it. Those middle rounds though, like when he got to the 6th, 7th, and 8th, bro, 6th, 7th, 8th. Uh, I mean, you can be picky with that, picking that last round for Pacquiao, but yeah, these is a lot closer than what people realize though. These stats ain't. I seen Pacquiao stats for Ugas. I know what to look for going into this fight. Pacquiao had nothing in that Ugas fight. Let me show y'all the stats for Pacquiao and Ugas. Pacquiao versus Ugas, CompuBox, and I think he was what 42 when he fought Ugas. Man, Pacquiao had nothing in the tank when he fought this guy. But I don't know what the let me see for this up. Yeah, look at his stats from Ugas. As soon as I find the right one. All right, we're seeing the ones Pacquiao versus Barrios. Then these are the ones with Ugas. Now look at what Ugas is doing through this fight. Y'all see what Ugas is landing in here? 13, 16, 11, 14, 12, 10, 15, 13, 10, 14, 12, 11. Like Ugas was in his bag in this fight. Jabbing well early on. Then he went away from that. It was throwing the combinations on Pacquiao. This was nothing like how Barrios was fighting, bro. Being real. This was nothing like how he was fighting. He ain't got to win the same way, but that was nothing like how he was fighting. Yeah, you don't hear nobody out here talking about a rematch. It's the reason why. It's the reason why you don't hear about no rematch. Yeah, that's crazy. Pacquiao was stepping to him, bro. Barrios said Pacquiao hit hard as F. And I told y'all, man, Pacquiao had him on the outside relaxing. You stay right there. He said I had Manny winning like 9-3 last night. And Jay, you know this, bro. We weren't really taking score like that last night. We just wanted to see if Manny was if he was gonna show up. I can't believe that. Then if Devin Haney go out there and fight, just like Barrios did, they're gonna give him a loss. They're gonna be like, hey man, he lost, man. He ain't go for it. I promise y'all. That's the only reason I'm bringing this up right now. Somebody gonna fight like this and gonna get a loss instead of a draw. It's almost like they went out of their way to give Pacquiao a draw. And they also acting like ain't nobody gonna fight Barrios if he lose the belt. Like, come on, man. The only reason I'm slightly favoring Pacquiao anyways is because he's talking about fighting bigger names than most of these guys. Anyways. It's been like that for years now. Pacquiao done fought what? Ugas. He done fought Thurman, Barrios. This man, at this point, this man done fought everybody. And I done seen Pacquiao get hands put on him. Like even when he was fighting Jeff Horn, he wasn't dominating Jeff Horn, but shoot, you can say Jeff Horn was doing more than Barrios last night. That's a fact, bro. I'm telling y'all. I'm being real with y'all. Jeff Horn was doing more than what Barrios was doing last night. Everybody who watched boxing knows this. Jeff Horn, the Jeff Horn who fought Pacquiao would have beat Barrios last night. And I defended Barrios at this last fight where he almost got stopped. But, bro, you ain't try to fight like you did that last fight. There got to be some kind of rules when they stepping in the ring with these legends. Can't waste these guys' time. You wasting their time, to be honest with you. I said the same thing about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. People like, yeah, Mike Tyson should have. Man, Mike Tyson, 60-something years, however old he is, 50-something, 60-something. These young guys need to use their young legs and knock these guys out. They don't need to be running around the ring trying to jab now like that. These dudes don't jab on no film. We don't got no film of these guys boxing like that until they actually jump in the ring with an old guy. I ain't seen Jake Paul never fight like that till he jumped in the ring with Mike Tyson. I'm like, this dude jabbing and moving now? Okay. Thought he was knocking people out. This dude knocking out UFC fighters, but he jabbing and moving with Mike Tyson. Barrios is dropping Ugas right after Ugas beat Pacquiao, but he jabbing and moving with Pacquiao though. Yeah, the threat was there, man. He seen the threat. The threat was there. The threat was there. See, to me personally, I'm not letting people change my mind on this one because I already know what it's going to do. I already know what's going on. I already seen what people have said about certain things. I know people are calling it a robbery or whatever a lot of ways, but what I'm saying is that's a dangerous way to play with certain things, man. Now, if Pacquiao would have ran into a health issue last night, and people will say that's boxing. I'm just talking about the style that he was fighting. We got guys now because they giving other man Matias just got a belt for being aggressive recently. For being aggressive. This man got a belt for being aggressive and landing shots. But that's PBC though. They did draws with Tank and Roach. They did a draw in this one. The dude Joet Gonzalez got robbed last night against Figueroa. Even though Figueroa swelled his eyes up. Yeah, Figueroa swelled his eyes up like the last 2 rounds. Bro was beating him up most of the fight. So I thought he lost that fight. Yeah, PBC doing bad with these scores, man, last night. The scores wasn't good. And for a lot of people to be criticizing Turkey's cards right now and scores, I could say that Joet Gonzalez and Figueroa was like worse than the Adames Shiraz by far. And the reason why I say it's worse is because Joet Gonzalez is probably one of the most talented guys in the division, and has a history of beating on Tank. But for him not to get the win after Stephen Fulton did like similar strategy against Figueroa, and it looked like, to be honest with you, that Gonzalez was dominating a lot easier at times early in the fight. But and he was fighting Figueroa style. That's what I don't know if the judging is really thinking about stuff like this. But this man Figueroa was getting dominated with his own style last night and won the fight. Got dominated with his own style. Barrios likes to fight the style that Pacquiao was fighting last night. He shied away from it. And then what he said last night, old man can hit hard. You can tell Pacquiao can hit too, man. Some of them punches he landed. You know, sometimes when a guy can punch fast like that, you like, oh, he just landed. But no, you can tell he was landing last night. And I will give him credit for this, though. And he looked like a clean fighter last night. I give him the credit for that. Looked like a clean guy last night. Just like Canelo looked clean against William Skull. But I'm just me, you know, me being me. The only reason I'm even like so serious about this is because we got some big fights coming up. We can't play around with no scores. But you know, they'll see eventually. They'll see eventually. Boxing in the right place right now. It's definitely in the right place. I'm gonna see who they saw won last night. Chavez said Pacquiao lost. Chavez needed to shoot. Yeah, that's crazy. At the end of the day, though, I'm gonna be real with you. They could have just had Boots and Barrios fight, man, if they was gonna do it like this. They should have went ahead with just Boots and Barrios. That was it. Cause yeah, the way that fight went last night, I think Haney or Normal could have beat Barrios last night. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I be thinking in my mind, that's why the public's so happy that Haney and Norman fight is getting made, because they know one of these guys gonna lose. What's going on, L Dub Boxer? Shout out to L Dub. What's going on, bro? That's the only reason I look at that Haney and Norman fight. I'm like, man. Sometimes I feel like that about Boots and Virgil Ortiz too. Even though, you know, it's not looking too good from the as far as the landscape. I feel like sometimes they know one of these guys gonna knock each other off, so let's just go ahead and make it. You know, that's what boxing about. But I don't know how long Barrios gonna go with that belt. If he goes another 2 years with a belt, with that 47 belt, that'll be crazy. He has the skills to do it, but another 2 years would be insane, man. He's squeaking by a lot without fighting certain guys. Not saying he's avoiding anybody. You know how business is, but he's squeaking by without fighting a lot of people. That's why last night I was favoring Barrios to win, but uh, just looking at things and I'm like, the landscape can't really change like that at 47 with that result we got last night. We're going back to square one. That's the only thing a loss would have. I would have seen a Barrios loss would have gave a lot more, you know, movement, a lot more flow to 147. But I don't know. We got to see because 47 don't have a lot of options, anyways. Doesn't have a lot of options. I don't know. Eventually, would a guy like Vargas go to 54? It's been at 47, what, 4 years now? If you count 2022, probably like under 4 years. So yeah, he been at 47 for a minute. Could possibly move up within next year? Who knows? Yeah, probably next year he probably move up something like that. But at 47, he doesn't really have a lot of options outside this fight with Pacquiao. Very notable now though. Name is definitely everywhere, and it's going to be even bigger with the controversy. But I don't see him turning around and fighting Polancos and uh, maybe a guy like Giazov is a fight he picks, but you fight Giazov instead of Boots, that would be horrible. Polanco, that would be a tough fight. So yeah, he's in a position where might have to go with the bigger name right now in certain situations. Still got a guy like Catterall, 47. Could be anything with Barrios. You know, you never know. He just fought Pacquiao, so anything could happen. But I think Barrios he's still in the top spot right now at 47. And whoever the winner of Haney and Norman, I mean, if Barrios is gonna work with Turkey, yeah, that'll definitely happen. But if PBC still has plans, probably just stick with PBC right now. You never know what could happen. They might wake up tomorrow and be like, "Hey, do a rematch with Tank at 47." Telling you, you never know what happens. Ryan Garcia versus Barrios. Like I said, you never. Oh, Rolly's could be an option still. Rolly, I keep forgetting about that. Rolly could be an option because eventually Rolly got to fight somebody, and with Pacquiao losing, I don't think that's going to be a fight that not losing but having a draw. I don't think that's a fight that Pacquiao going to entertain right now. But yeah, the style matchup as far as with Barrios and Pacquiao is better anyways because Rolly's more of a power puncher. Yeah, he can get lucky at times, so you got to watch out for that. But yeah, Barrios doesn't really have too many options at 47 unless he goes with an old name, a big name guy who's not really high ranking right now or taking serious fights. Yeah, he doesn't have many options to go through, but we'll see eventually, man. 47 still looking better than 54 still looks better than 54, but I mean 47. My bad, getting these numbers mixed up. 54 still looks better than 47. Still got Tim Tszyu little brother down here at 54. You never know. So yeah, they got some options out here, but I think if Barrios looking for the payday type of fights he's looking for, it'll eventually be at 54. Outside of like a Haney, Garcia, or something like that. If a Tiafimo comes up, things like that. But with the Pacquiao fight and then the Mike Tyson fight he fought on, he's had probably the best year out of any boxer. He fought against Pacquiao. Then he fought on the Mike Tyson card recently. Yeah, so he's in the best position right now. It's gonna be more people looking for him than he's looking for other people. Yeah, I think he's in a good spot. But I think I'm gonna come back probably either later on or tomorrow But man, I gotta drop this news about what Eddie Reynoso said recently. When y'all hear this, you're gonna be surprised. But I just heard Robert Garcia said something to him as well. But he's gonna have trouble. They got the official scorecards up here too for the fight. Some Pacquiao and Barrios. I'll probably talk about that too. But on one of these scorecards, they gave most of the cards they gave Barrios the last 3 rounds. One scorecard they gave Pacquiao round 5 through 9. They gave him round 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I thought they could have split the first 4 rounds, but I can't remember. Cause I know Dubois and Usyk did. I don't know what the first 4 rounds was like with Pacquiao. I can't even. Then somebody else gave Pacquiao the. Oh, hold on. Okay, so Pacquiao's. No, that's Barrios' side. My bad. No, I'm tripping. I'm right. They gave Barrios. I mean, they gave Pacquiao 5 through 9. So yeah, they gave Barrios 2 through 4. Then another card gave him. They gave round 4 to Pacquiao. That's odd. I'm kind of confused on that one. Yeah, one of those early rounds I kept flipping, but Jay said 9-3 though. If it's 9-3, I definitely got to roll with that one. Because every time I keep looking, it's another round I want to get. It's another round. I keep finding another round. I keep finding another round. I keep finding another round. So yeah, we'll see. But this is a very good matchup, man. That a lot of people really not gonna understand after a while. Cause a lot of things gonna be said about it, but yeah, Barrios, he opened himself up for a lot of not criticism. That was already gonna happen regardless. I don't know, man, because I don't remember Ugas being criticized like that after he beat Pacquiao. Yeah, I don't remember that, man. I wish I would have seen more of the conversation about it last night, but I had to kind of move on. These dudes funny, bro. I can't even lie to y'all. These dudes are so mad at Turkey for what he said. Somebody said Turkey isn't wrong though. This is funny. These dudes are so mad. That's hilarious. Yeah, man. Jake Paul went out there. He went out there and faced off with Usyk yesterday. Ain't that crazy? This man Jake Paul had a face off with Usyk yesterday. For everybody, I was talking about Joshua a couple of weeks ago. Everybody say, yeah, Wilder versus Jake Paul. I'm gonna just say karma is real. Everybody wanted to make a joke out of Jake Paul fighting Wilder, and now they talking about Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua and Usyk, and everybody quiet. Ain't nobody said nothing about his Usyk face off with Jake Paul yesterday. It wasn't a joke, so I'm trying to. Matter of fact, I haven't heard anybody really mention it yet. It wasn't a joke. Somebody said whoever let this curly head cut into the ring is a stupid. uh, somebody said it's embarrassing to put him in front of Usyk like that. Let me tell you something. And this before I get off of here, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna just put this up here. I'll just say this about. I appreciate everybody for coming through, man, supporting the live too. I don't care if y'all in here in a minute. I appreciate everybody for coming through, supporting the live. But I'll just say this. This picture right here proves that I do not just post videos or clickbait. I've been working hard 2 years on this channel to build an identity. But this proves right here that I do not clickbait. I do not want to force people to agree with what I say. And when I post videos about Jake Paul, it was a reason why I did. It wasn't because I'm trying to get views off Jake Paul or anything. This dude is being discussed with serious fights in boxing. And if people are boxing fans, they would definitely want to seriously consider figuring out why. Because I'm just putting the information out there. That's the only job I have. I can't really convince anybody else outside of that. But this right here proves that I don't clickbait. I'm not making stuff up. You know what I'm saying? And the fans bringing up Jake Paul versus Wilder and making that conversation normal actually helped this situation flourish. I'm telling you, the fans keep doing it. They did it with Wilder and Ngannou. Wilder said, "I want to fight Ngannou." They went ahead and made Fury fight Ngannou. Then people said, "I want to see Wilder versus Jake Paul." Now they got Jake Paul jumping in front of Usyk. So it's not really nothing to be embarrassed about because the average person out here thinks that a guy like Jake Paul could knock out Usyk, but they don't think Deontay Wilder can. So me looking at this picture right here, it's not an embarrassment. This is what's been created. This is what the boxing media has been telling us for years. Nobody else is good enough. The guys that get medals over here in America can't box at heavyweight. So this is why he's standing right here. It's the only reason why. It's the only reason why. The public now believes that he has a good chance against a guy like Usyk because they feel like Wilder doesn't have a chance against Jake Paul because that's what boxing experts run around and say. They say Wilder can't box, but Jake Paul can. So this is why he's standing in front of Usyk. Because the best we have in America, they say ain't good enough. So outside of America, any other heavyweights we know that anybody want to throw out there? There are none. So you have Jake Paul who steps in. So when I get on here and I say the fans, the media, y'all gotta do this, y'all gotta do that, bro. Y'all gotta say something about this. Oh, okay. and they find the things they want to complain about. I'm like, okay. But if you ask every person that sit up here and says, not every person, but most people that say, "Oh, I don't like this Jake Paul and Usyk stuff. It's a joke." But I asked them, "Do you think that Jake Paul can beat Wilder?" Oh yeah, I think he can. So do you know that you're the one who started all this? I don't know if you know it or not. Now the rest of these guys can't drop Tyson Fury in a fight, but except Ngannou and Wilder, but for some reason, it's just that's where we at right now though. That's why I'm not really upset. I'm just if everybody like how I keep seeing people talk about how did we get here? How did Jake Paul? That's how we got here, and we finna stay here. Because I did a live recently, and everybody's still talking about how Wilder get beat by Jake Paul. And what did I say in that same live? I said, bro, he talking to Usyk and he talking to Joshua right now, and it's a serious conversation right now. Everybody like, oh, they trolling. Eddie Hearn's talking about the fight right now. Eddie Hearn just said the biggest fight in boxing would be Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. And that's what everybody been asking. They want to see a big heavyweight with knockout power go against Jake Paul. That's what the conversation been, and the boxing world, they're gonna give it to him. But yeah, they want to tiptoe around the reason why Jake Paul in boxing. You know why? What Leonard Ellerby said to what Leonard Ellerby said to old boy Larry Merchant. You heard him. Hey, I should get that sound bite. You heard him. That was that boy said something before Floyd can even stop talking. But yeah, this dude is standing in front of a 3-time undisputed champion. 3-time undisputed. Three-time undisputed. And I hear a lot of people saying, man, it's because of the following. It's because of what they say, it's because of the following. He helped the women boxing. Man, blah, blah, blah. We already know what time it is. It's Sunday, but I ain't finna preach up here. You know what I'm saying? I just put the information out there and I do what thou wilt. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, you live how you live. But yeah. But yeah, last year, I felt like even me, when I was doing lives on Jake Paul last year, I was like, bro, what am I doing? Why am I even doing a live on this guy? But something told me this right here was possible. So I followed my gut, and here we are. This dude making serious fights with Canelo and Usyk. People talking about, oh, he ain't talking to Tank with no fight. Bro, he talking to Usyk. He talking to Usyk and he talking to Joshua. Usyk just made about two or $300 million. He's talking to Usyk and he's talking to Joshua. And he was talking to Canelo. If he's talking to them, yeah, he's talking to Tank or anybody else involved in boxing. Mike Tyson, everybody. Matter of fact, there's not a fight in boxing that Jake Paul can't get. I think we can all agree on that. There's not a fight he can't get in boxing. But yeah, at the end of the day, if he's gonna be in the ring with the undisputed champion in the world, they can try to ignore him and look the other way, but he's in the way. He is in the way. That man gonna be a factor out here. That's crazy. See, I told you. Uh, they let Turkey. They out here crying, bro. Turkey dissing people out here. So what? That's why I did a live on it. I mean, a video about it last night. Somebody just said the same thing I said. Turkey be out here saying all this stuff about Tom and Jerry and stuff with these guys running, and everybody be co-signing it. Now they want to sit up here and push back on it. Push back on it now. But y'all been on here 2 hours. I appreciate everybody for coming through, man, on the live and checking everything out, man. Just want to come on here for a little bit and talk a little bit. I could have said a little bit more. I really was just chilling, bro. I ain't really just holding back for real. Could have got a lot more into it, but yeah. It's funny. Yeah, but I appreciate everybody for coming through though, man, supporting the live. I'm gonna be back on tomorrow or either tonight. With me, I'm either on tonight or tomorrow. That's it. So it'll be either or. I don't know. But I appreciate everybody for coming through though.